Good day everyone, I am Regine Arpahonar, a second-year education student major in English. Today, I am going to discuss an important topic, the inclusive education in the 21st century, trends and best practices. But before that, let's first know our learning objectives to be guided on the goals that we aim to achieve. First, we have define inclusive education and differentiate between exclusion, segregation, mainstreaming, and full inclusion in education. Second, describe how education for students has evolved over time. And lastly, explain what a universal design for learning and its principles and application in classroom. Now let's begin. What do you think is the definition of inclusive education? According to UNICEF, inclusive education is an education system that welcomes and supports all students regardless of their abilities or requirements. It ensures that every child has access to quality education. Now, why is inclusive education important? So here are some benefits of inclusive education. First, it helps all students reach their full potential by providing the right support and resources. For example, a child suffering with dyslexia can succeed with tools like audiobooks and text-to-speech software. And second, it creates a culture of acceptance and understanding. For example, when a student with cerebral palsy is included in a science lab group, classmates learn to accommodate their needs by adjusting tasks such as taking notes or handling materials, fostering teamwork and empathy. Lastly, it increases self-esteem and confidence among students, where they feel included and valued. Now, let's move forward to the history of how education has evolved over time. We have here concepts that will lead us to discuss the history of special students and how they were and are being treated. First, we have exclusion. According to United Nations International Children's Emergency Fund or the UNICEF, exclusion occurs when students are denied access to education. In prehistoric societies, children with disabilities were not cared for as it was seen as a result of some kind of sin, and children suffering from them were either killed or kept isolated. This behavior stems from their religious beliefs. Next, we have segregation. This refers to the practice of separating individuals or groups based on characteristics such as race, ethnicity, or socioeconomic status. The first segregated special education began in 1555 when Spanish monk Pedro Ponce de Leon taught deaf children reading, writing, speech, and academics. Segregation of students with disabilities stemmed from the notion that they were incapable of learning alongside their peers and needed to be placed in separate institutions for specialized care and institution, leading to isolation and limited educational opportunities. Then, we have mainstreaming. This means placing students with disabilities in general education classrooms for part of the day while receiving specialized support as needed. Mainstreaming in special education began in 1970s with the Education for All Handicapped Children Act in the year 1975 and still continues today, placing students with disabilities in general classrooms. Now, lastly, we have full inclusion, which is being implemented in the 21st century. This means that all students with disabilities are educated entirely in general education classrooms, regardless of the severity of their disabilities, fostering equality, acceptance, and collaboration. In the Philippines, the DepEd issued Order Number 72, Series of 2009, promoting inclusive education, and in the year 2022, RA number 11650 was enacted to strengthen education policies. On the international basis of implementing inclusive education, we have UNESCO's The Inclusive Education Policy on the year 2021. This emphasizes equal access to quality education for all, promoting diversity, equity, and inclusion globally. Now, let's move forward to another topic, which is the Universal Design for Learning, or UDL. Universal Design for Learning is an educational framework that aims to make learning accessible and effective for all students by addressing diverse needs, abilities, and backgrounds. UDL has three principles. The first one, we have multiple means of representation. This means presenting information in different formats, including text, audio, video, interactive media to accommodate different learning styles of the students. Next, we have multiple means of action and expression. This principle allows students to demonstrate their knowledge in various ways, such as through writing, presentations, projects, or digital tools. Now, the last principle of UDL is the use of multiple means of engagement. These are the strategies to sustain student interest and motivation, including choice, collaborative activities, and real-world connections. Now, let us know how UDL is being implemented in the classroom. This is centered in how teachers should integrate these principles. First, we have assessment and planning. In this, teachers assess student needs and plan flexible lessons. Example for this is using surveys to understand learning preferences and designing lessons with various materials like videos, text, and hands-on activities. The second implementation is designing flexible learning environments. This means offering physical and digital spaces that accommodate various learning needs. For instance, providing quiet areas for focus, group spaces for collaboration, and digital tools for accessibility. Lastly, we have ongoing professional development. Ongoing professional development includes earning certifications and participating in training or mentorship programs to update current knowledge and support student success. As a conclusion, inclusive education ensures that all students have equal access to learning, promoting diversity and acceptance regardless of physical conditions or backgrounds. Universal Design for Learning supports this through flexible teaching for all needs. Thank you for your time, and I hope you learned from our discussion today.